So here is my hope for hip hop. I'm gonna share my list, and then you can either add to it, take away, or whatever you want to do. Now,
Okay.
with this whole this whole for the year for 2025, I think it's gonna be the year of the lyricist.
Hmm.
I think we're gonna have a death of the gangster, and what I mean by that, and this is where I was earlier that I was trying to focus on the difference between the women in rap and the men in rap. With the men in rap, they have been so caught up in this illegal activity, this clout chasing, having
Mm.
clout and reps and money and stuff like that, that in the past year, I think the women were more showcased than I saw with men being showcased. The only thing that I saw the rappers that were men is that we're sitting at the jailhouse with Young Thug and all of them,
Right.
uh, because they're in court or they've been pruned from the timeline. I
Hmm.
think that we're going to see a just a die. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I do think people are now going to be on the mind of a lyricist. What do you have to say instead of just you bopping to the music?
Yeah.
People are going to want to know what you're going to say. I think the West Coast sound will be big, and I think the Atlanta sound is going to take a back seat. It's gonna be one of these types of things. I think it's
Yeah.
going to go like this. uh I think, and this is what I was talking about when you mentioned most Def and all of them. I'm thinking that now is the time for hip hop to no longer be a quote young man's Jane. I think that those rappers that since the culture is going to be hungering for lyricists, I think that you could get the LL Cool J's, the Cool Mo D's, the what you say, the Most Defs, the Black Thought, all
Mm.
of these people to come back out and be lyricists. And it would be nice, particularly because of the fact that with hip hop being as old as it is, you got people my age. I want to hear Jay-Z rap about the fact that he got gout in his big toe,
Right. Right.
or his blood pressure is high,
Hmm.
or how he's feeling about being a father. I would love to hear these older rappers, Nas and all of them, talk about fatherhood and navigating relationships and how they treat the
Yeah.
women around them instead of them being bitches and hoes and tricks and this and that and stuff. I would love to hear that type of music, but you'd have to hear that from older people, 30
Hmm.
plus. That's where I was hoping that Nikki would make a transition to talk about being a mama with a big booty and a this such and such and such and such, whatever it is you do. I'm just thinking that I'm hoping the Tyler, the creators, and all those people that have something to say come out to say it, regardless your age. I want to
Right.
see hip hop be its age. I want to see the young people enjoying hip hop.
51
I want to
years.
see I want to see the older people enjoying hip hop for whatever it is. And
Hmm.
we grow with your I want people to now to understand that as a genre, hip hop should be able to grow with the people who consume it.
Yeah.
And I was talking about Killer Mike because Killer Mike was saying he loves, how in different genres they have like adult contemporary,
Yeah. Hmm.
and he was talking about why can't we have in hip hop an adult contemporary?
Yeah.
You can keep the regular stuff, but there should be a genre of that
Yeah.
that the older people can be able to go through there.
Yeah.
And I think the commercialization or the cultural appropriation of hip hop, I think it is about to slow down a little bit. Just a tad. It's never going to stop, but I think it's going to slow down. I think people are going to start looking at the fact that, wait a minute, hold up. Let me see, let me remember, or if you get the older people in there, tell me how Hammer was working out through hip hop before he messed around and got the deal. What would have happened with Hammer if he did? You know how What If asked all these
Hmm.
questions? What if
You ain't gonna bring up what if.
Hammer what if Hammer didn't take that deal? What if he continued to sell his music independently and out the trunk
Independent.
of his
Yeah.
car?
Hmm.
These are just my hopes for hip hop uh, going into
And salute it.
2025.
Hammer just dropped a new song and video. Salute to him too.
Well, good. See, this is what I like to hear. I like to hear the fact that there's some stuff going on, and maybe this will come up through the forefront. So, you all that are out here rapping, y'all utilize YouTube. Y'all get on YouTube and put your music out. Utilize
Mhm.
these reactors that are reacting to your music. I think that this is a time for you to be able to be your own promotion for your music, so we'll know it's out there. And
Right.
again, then we can go and consume it like we need to consume it.
Yeah. I'm gonna just pick it back off your list because you got a damn good list. That's a good. Yeah, I'm with you. Year of the lyricist. is gonna be put forefront, front and center. I think more people are going to be looking at lyrics, or we'll get a healthy dose of both. Because I think everything can coincide. It's just
Exactly.
It's, I hate to say it, it's how they how they give it to us. They're giving, instead of giving us the lyricism and stuff like that, they give us the Drake. Not saying that that's bad, but we
It's
just get
formulaic. It's a
right, and we
formula.
get that 24/7 instead of letting J. Rue the Damager back in the day break through and have his one little, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can at least let one lyrical song break through, but they don't, you know. To speak on the death of gangster, I want to say, I want to call it the death of the murderer, because that drill, the drill music was
Exactly.
catapulting a lot of that.
I didn't know
And
that term. I didn't know that term. I just knew, you out here, you're rapping about how you're King Von in them. That's who I'm
yeah,
talking about. King Bonds in them.
where everything is my ops, and I had to do, I swung, double back on my ops, and this, I think that goes out there, because especially like you said, you brought a YSL and Young Thug. If they looking at these lyrics and can take you to jail for these lyrics, I advise y'all to quit snitching on yourself.
Exactly.
Quit snitching on, or the reason being that they can look at lyrics is y'all are not good enough lyricists to make that story, or to put that tale of what happened in story form to where it seems outrageous or overly dramatic, like a movie.
Right. Take a kernel of truth and
Yeah,
then put all this fluff around it to where you couldn't figure if it was
right.
true or
You're
not.
not creative enough to do that, and I think that's where they go wrong at, because they're so to the T. Oh, they tell everything too, so deep. They hella detailed. The detail is there. I use this type of gun. I loaded up I only used 3 bullets, shot him 3 times. I wrote the name on it. Like, they tell so detailed. West Coast sound will be big. I'm a big, huge fan of West Coast. My homeboy at work, he be like, man, you don't listen to nothing about West Coast, which is weird because I love the South. I'm from the South.
Right,
But I
right.
grew up, I got a lot of ties to the West also. You know what I'm saying? I always looked at the West and the South like more cousins, more country cousins than the South and the North. You know what I'm saying? So the West, I just gravitated to and I do think that West Coast sound is gonna be big.
Because your cool
Atlanta,
auntie always moved to California. Your cool
yeah,
auntie always
I always did. I always did. The Atlanta sound, I think they find a new sound, because the Atlanta sound has become, and I brought up the homogenization of hip hop is the Atlanta sound, which is not a bad thing. But what's next? Like, when we had Outkast, Goody Mob, JD, like, all those sounds was different, and they was all from Atlanta, but it was, you knew what a JD song sounded like. I knew what a Dungeon Family song sounded like. I knew what Kilo Ali sounded like. I knew what Ludacris sounded like. Like, it was all different sounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, now
that's
it's
the same,
one,
yeah.
it just seems like
That's the
it's one
same thing.
producer.
Right. And that's the same thing with R&B. Now everyone sounds the same. I can't tell
Mm-hmm.
a Kalani from a
Nope.
anybody else, but back in the day you could tell a Stephanie Mills from Aretha Franklin,
Yeah.
from Whitney Houston. They
Yep.
had distinct
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 sound.
sounds. Right. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with that.
Hip hop no longer being a young man's game. Yeah. This year was the year of, to me, old man hip hop. We had Rakim drop an album. We had LL drop an album. Snoop and Dre just dropped. Redman just dropped. So, and which I don't think it should be. Like, I don't know why. And I guess because it was so in the infant stage. So we didn't know what growing up in hip hop. Look, we still to this day kind of don't know what growing up in hip. It's only 51 years, right?
Right.
So we still don't know what growing up. And I like to take away 10 of those years, because it was it's like a cross pollination. Like, my mother and my father, they can say, hey, I'm hip hop too, but then they grew up off of, Motown, and you know what I'm saying? So it was a cross section of 10 years of that. So then it's really only 41 years of hip hop if you really think about it. Because a lot of people think the 80s with hip hop, even though it started, late 60s, early 70s, the 80s is when it really took. Run DMC, LL Cool J, and all of these things, when it really, NWA, when it really took off. So hip hop is young. It is young.
As far as being in the making record, making
Right.
what do you call this? The commercialization of it is young.
Commercialization. Yeah. The overall scheme, hip hop is young. So rock, uh blues, country, and you see all their legends get up there, and they get even the young people up there singing Tom Petty or you know what I'm saying. We
Exactly.
need to have that same thing with hip hop. There's no reason why, like you said, Jay-Z dropped an album and he talked about being a father and how he's raising Blue and the twins and all of this and how hard it is to get along with Beyonce because she over here doing her Renaissance and
Right.
cowboy car. Like, that is something I think would be, and I think he's talented enough to weave that tale into his songs. Not
Right.
saying he can't still give you some Jay-Z,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, the overall theme of whatever of an album could be that. A lot of people was mad at Snoop and Dre's. I love that album, the Missionary album. It sounded grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a grown up album. We see Snoop. Snoop was just at the Olympics. What do you expect? You expect Snoop to come out and talk about
Shooting
dipping in
up.
his Lolo and shooting the
Yeah.
ops? Like,
Yeah.
this dude is the hip hop ambassador to the world. I don't know if y'all understand that. Might be the most famous person in the world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He can't
I
come
still
out with
I still
that.
wish he would have got up on that hip hop stage and yanked that Ray Gun girl off the stage. But that's a whole nother
He
story.
can't do that.
That's a whole nother story. I
He
wouldn't
can't
have
do
done
that. But you know what I'm saying? I ain't even, well, I heard about it, but he got a college bowl game named after him.
that.
The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. That's how big Snoop is, and y'all want him to come out with Doggy Style Part 2.
Right.
Come on, he can't be up there talking about bitches
He's
and
a
hoes like
granddaddy.
a granddad.
He is a granddad.
So I'm with you. Hip hop, let hip hop grow. I want to be 60, 70 and say, hey, I'm finna go to a Snoop concert or a Jeezy
Exactly.
concert or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. We should want to be able to age. But I
That's
think,
right.
too, with hip hop, making it past 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, a lot of that was, am I going to make it past that? So I think that's why that mind state is what it is. And I want to see some of these. I want to see Queen Latifah, MC Light. I want to see Yo Yo. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to see Salt and Pepper. Where y'all at? Where
I
y'all at?
want to see the people that we never got to see because they were overshadowed by the commercialism of hip hop. Because
Yeah.
I'm quite sure there are some people out here who have that we don't get to see. I'm quite sure if I go over here to SoundCloud and Spotify and pull some stuff and pull some things like that. But there are probably a lot of people within that whole thing that were quote unquote one hit wonders, or they
Yeah.
never wasn't able to come. See, I would love to know that those people can come back out. And because again, y'all have Apple, y'all have got Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
y'all have got the internet. You can pull up your own website and you can sell your music off your own website if you feel like you need to do something like that. You've got all social media. You can build your following. I mean, there are people like me that get on here and have a following just talking about movies and
Yeah.
critiquing
Current
stuff
events
like
and
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you mean to tell me that you couldn't get on here and talk about your music, talk about your music, what you're doing with your music, put your music out, direct them to your website if people want to take their music? Because I've noticed, and have you noticed that we have gone from owning CDs to paying for a subscription? We don't own physical music
I
anymore.
was just talking to my younger brother about this. I said, the bad thing is, Kendrick said turn the TV off. If they turn the TV off, these kids won't have nothing to listen to. They won't have nothing because they don't. But they don't buy music
No.
because it's subscribe. That's I hate streaming. I love it, but I hate it because they control everything, and I don't think people understand that they control everything. If they
Because
don't
I
want
don't
you to
even
watch
think.
this show, they don't want you to listen to this music, this album, you won't have it.
Right. And I'm not even believing, in my conspiracy mind, I'm not even believing in this Mandela effect. Only because the fact that if you can't find the physical, if you can't find how people see like Fruit of the Looms used to look like
Yeah,
this, and then
it
they'll tell
did
you,
too. It did.
and it did, and then they'll say that's because them Fruit of the Loom underwear you can't wear no more. If they done stretched out, ripped
Yeah.
up, or whatever, you don't have the physical underwear to be able to show that that's how these things look. And
Look,
that's
right.
what I'm saying. They're slowly being able to try to program you to believe that these are the things happen because you no longer have the physical things. Because I don't even know. I have, I still have an iPod.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I don't know if I can make. You remember how you used to be able to burn CDs? You could make
Yep.
your playlist and burn. Can you still do that?
You
No,
can.
because
My computer still does it. But you have to buy the music. Like you
got
can
you.
still go on Apple and buy. You can still go on Spotify and buy. But people, why would they? What incentives do they have to buy? There's no the physical DVDs or Blu-rays. What incentive? Unless you're just a collector and you're just a cinephile or something like that. Yeah, you do that. But if you don't, if I pay, think, Pam, I used to go buy CDs. I used to get my little money, run up to Peppermint Music or whoever, FYE or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And spend that money and get that and be mad when I bought the wrong one. Like, oh man, I should have got this one instead, because this one ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I wish you could see the closet that I have with the case, with the black case that I have where you
yep,
take it out. I wish you could see I have a closet just at least this high of of
yep,
of, of CDs of music. Because even if the rest of the CD was trash, you had your one or
right.
two
Have my one or
songs
two. Yeah.
one or two songs that you could play, but you had them, and then you could always go back and reassess them and say, oh, okay. Because that's
Right.
how I used to go back and figure out songs were being sampled, because they used to go and try to find that lost cut or somewhere
Yep.
of a song. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I know that song. They got
Yep.
that from this particular CD. And vinyls, listen, let me tell y'all what I really want to come back.
Eight
I
track.
want the reel to reel.
Oh, reel to reel.
That's what I
Yeah.
want. My dad has a reel to reel, and
Mm.
he was a big jazz.
Yeah.
Uh, and he has two big reel to reels. And it still works, we still play it. But when you click it, he has
Mm.
about 11 hours on one and probably 8 hours on the other
Yeah.
of just jazz music.
And they expensive. They moved on from them quick because they so expensive.
Yeah,
That is
but
expensive.
and the sound quality is good.
It's,
Vinyls,
yeah.
the sound quality is
Vinyl.
so much
Yep.
better. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
these kids, and with all of this ASMR, these kids just need a record player and a good speaker.
I think, yeah, they do.
Got yours?
I don't think they understand
Me too, Pat.
but yeah, the
Oh my
booklet. Yeah, the
gosh.
booklets had the lyrics in them. Yeah, yeah. That was another thing too. Why you bought it?
Yeah. You
You
want to
put
see
it on, you pull that booklet out, and you reading them credits and
Mhm.
lyrics. Yep. Yeah, that
Credits and
was
lyrics.
that was part of it. Or it might have a poster on the inside. Pull it out, hang the poster up.
And like,
Man, them Tuesdays, because that's when music came out on a Tuesday,
mm,
not this Friday. You only get a chance to listen to it because it's the weekend. You come out on a Tuesday, you go to school that Tuesday with your Walkman, you listen to it on the bus or your ride to wherever you're
right.
going. You get to ingest the music and digest it. You know what I'm saying? Now the music is so quick, and that's why, like, music for me, I don't want to get off on a tangent, but was a timekeeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can, not anymore, but the older stuff, I can tell you what I was doing. I can tell you
Exactly.
what you were doing. I can tell you what was going on in the world at this time when this music came out. Now it's such a blur. I can't tell you nothing that was going. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's what
Right.
music is supposed to identify what's going on in the world.
Music regulated your emotions.
Your emotions.
Music,
Yep.
music at one point would regulate your behavior. You know
Mm-hmm.
how you used to be pissed off, but then you come in and you throw some, I don't know, some Gladys Knight on, and you
Oh
felt
yeah.
like cleaning up the house then, because you
Mm-hmm. Man, I had a breakup
yeah.
high school, and I was mad at the girl, so I threw Too Short on, and I just listened to Too Short. Just I was mad, but that's how I got through. The next day, I was fine.
Right.
I was fine the next day.
And you
But
think
yeah,
about kids now, they don't have the things to regulate their there's, I mean, words would regulate your you throw some Luther on.
yep.
Oh girl, who you trying to talk
Who you
to?
trying to talk to? Yeah,
Yeah, who you trying
playing
to
in the
talk to you.
background while you on the phone, listen to.
Yeah.
But R&B don't sound. R&B today is rap. It's
And
really
that's what,
rap.
yeah. Yeah.
That's what it really is. But my hope for hip hop in 2025 is, I kind of wanted to take a step back and look at itself. Really, that's what I really want to do. Take a step back and say, hey, where are we going with this?
Right.
The corporations, they control they control the people, they control how it's getting. How do I get this to the person who I really want to get it to? Because it's a lot of noise out there. So I think hip hop just needs to take a step back, reevaluate, and see that we're worth more than what they want to give us.
Right.
And it shouldn't just be Drake. Shouldn't be in control. It shouldn't be one guy, Drake and Nicki. It shouldn't, because it was never that. It was never that. It was never one person winning. I don't recall a time when it was just. I mean, you might have had, you had your who's the best MC line. You had that, but to me, Jay-Z was never Michael Jordan in the situation. He never was the winner because it was always somebody else just as good. Couple of them just as good.
He knew how to pivot. And also too, they took this crew business or mentality and took it to the extreme. So it's like, I don't know if you ever watched the show, but rap music now reminds me of like Duncan MacLeod and the Clan MacLeods, like the Highlanders.
Highlanders.
Like there only can be one.
Only can be one.
No.
Yeah.
I remember when there was the Rough Riders and all these, everybody, and then there were other people in there, like you said. It was so much thrown in there. If you listen to Q-Tip, you may like Black Thought, but then you can also listen to what you just called his name? Too Short, Snoop Dogg. You could go down and listen to Luke and Trick Daddy if you wanted to. You could go over here to Memphis and listen to who was
3 6 and all of them.
Yeah, you could listen to all of them. Bone Thugs,
but
and
that's because it was regional. See,
right.
If hip hop got back to being regional, I think if it does take a step back, that's a thing that they should do. Hey, we don't need one. Hip hop should not sound like one thing,
right?
Because it's not. New York should sound like New York, or that region should sound. South should sound like this. West, you know what I'm saying? Because when I listened to The Chronic when it came out,
right,
I was in South Central LA. Even though I was listening to, I wasn't even in America when it came out. I was overseas. My father was in the army, but I was in South Central LA when that came out. Let me tell it. Right. Let me tell it. I was with Dr. Dre, in the Hoopty or in the 6-4 somewhere, riding down Crenshaw or Slauson. I was with it. Now we don't have that. Right. We don't have it.
And each region should and if there is a regional sound, then they should gatekeep what that sound is.
What that sound is. They used to.
Yeah, put the outliers out there so what that sound.
You know who I blame? I hate to say it. I blame Timberland and Pharrell. I do. Because it became only those two producers, right? And everybody wanted to work with either Pharrell or Timberland. Not saying there wasn't other producers who was doing it, but it was either those two. And then Kanye came up and stuff. But I blame those two because they went and worked with everybody.
Well, I'll go back a little bit further because I'm a little insidious in that. I blame Devontae.
Devontae did, yeah. Well, Timberland got his sound from Devontae.
I know, but if Devontae wasn't so stingy and would have allowed for them to pull out and incorporate the style, they wouldn't have jumped out and then tried to go with everybody to make sure that their sound was being heard, because Devontae had Timberland and Genuine and Missy, all of them. What's her name? Tweeting all of them in the doggone basement, looking like the Hunger Games. So I blame Devontae.
Devontae Swing. I miss Jodeci.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I blame him. I blame that mentality of there can only be one and you be the only producer. I want all of you all to get out here and shine. And again, I know Timberland sound because you worked with Timberland, didn't it? Because I hear this sound. Or you worked with so and so. Or you went down there and you worked with Trick Daddy and them because I hear this particular sound. Or you worked over here and you coming out of that Chicago because I hear that Step in the Name of Love type of music or whatever it is. But I do think that, like you said, if they take a step back and they reorganize what they believe that they ought to be doing, I think that this was, and I think that for you have literally cut out probably $3 to $4 billion of customers, because again, you're saying that it's a young man's game.
Mhm.
It's the 30 and 40 and 50-year olds that have a job, they have good
And
jobs
yeah,
and
that
have
can buy.
money.
Yeah, that pay for that can pay for. I say that about movies and comic books too. Like
Yeah.
the people you should be going after is the ones who got the jobs and can go out and buy these movies or go to see these movies. I want to ask you this before we finish wrapping it up. Um, who was it? Somebody made a point, and it could have been Killer Mike. He said about radio stations. No, it wasn't Killer Mike. It was from dude from 69 Boys. He said radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
The why everybody are relying on stream. All of these companies are relying on streaming and forgetting about radio stations. He said that the 30s, the 40, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, they still listen to the radio. And you missing out on advertising and money when you just seclude that part of, you know what I'm saying? Like these older rappers who still stream, but their streams ain't as big. Like they not Drake, they not these new rappers. A place where they can live at, the radio station, on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
I agree. Again, it's gonna have there's got to be more variety in the boardroom when they start sitting down, because you see this same problem in the movie business. Everybody is trying to push towards streaming, but streaming it has a finite amount of business that you can do, because if there's 100 million people in the world, let's say, and you have 80 million people who has your streaming service, it's not much more that you can go. You can only go 20 more million.
Yeah,
So what are
that's
you
it.
going to do? You can only go down. I think that all the different genres, like I said, I think radio needs to come back. I think
Mm-hmm.
that they should be doing that. I think we need to stop with the personalities of DJs. So like these little models with the Ricky Smileys and the
Mm-hmm.
all of these things. I'm not saying that they don't have a purpose. What I'm saying is the DJs when I was coming up,
Where's the radio DJs at?
yeah, the DJs,
Mm-hmm.
they would be promoting the parties, they would be promoting the music when
The
the
people
people
who
would
push the
come
culture.
through. Yeah, they would push through. They would know and see the stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what the listener wanted to hear, because again, y'all need to get back to the box. We need to sit down and figure out how we can get back to the box where you pay to play.
Yeah.
We've got all this music, you pay the fee to be able to play that, and there you can get your real numbers. Hey, they've
Mm-hmm.
called in 157 million times to
I
hear
don't
this
know
song.
why that's not in play. You absolutely. Why is that not in play? The top 10 where you call in and you vote on the songs, and that's how you know if a song is a hit or not.
Right.
When the people
Right.
call in and say, "Hey, I want to hear Pam Entertainment talk this," like
Right.
that's how you know. Yeah, we got to play this song. Where
Right.
is that at? You
And that's
absolutely
and
right.
again, and that can be regional, just like you can put up Billboard's top 100 or Apple Music top 100. There should be KFWW in Miami's top
Yeah.
50 music, because I remember back in the day where I live it was like either Saturday night or Sunday night, I can't remember what it was. They would play the city's top 25,
Yeah. Yeah. We
and
had that too.
the top 25 requested songs. So you knew that these are the songs that are playing in Montgomery, Alabama. These are the songs that are playing in Jacksonville, Florida. These are the
Mm-hmm.
songs that are playing. So then, like I said, then we'll be able to get to those artists that we would miss. Because again, if each one of these places had a this is where iHeartRadio would be more accommodating, because you would have all these different radio stations that I can listen to those radio stations, but I can still listen to my local station. But I can say, oh, okay, they rocking this in Houston. Let me hear what's going on over here in Houston,
Mm-hmm.
and then do that the same way in other places. I think that they need to get back to those models. And again, you'll have people who listen to different genres of music. Then you have the overlap. That's where the
Right.
overlap starts happening. Because uh if I'm an R&B person, and just like, let's use Drake for instance, he's singing in his music. But side note, I didn't know Kendrick could sing. Kendrick sounds pretty good in his little singing, particularly when he sings with
With
SZA.
scissor, him and
But
scissor.
yeah, him and SZA got a Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye kind of thing
Hmm.
going on with that. But anyway,
I
but
need a joint EP or something, an album from them or something.
something. But just like he's, he let's say he sings a little bit in his thing. Well, then because I'm a big R&B girl and I like to hear people sing, I'd be more apt to want to listen to his music because he
Yeah,
has a little singy vibe. If he was just not trying to be the thug, but he keep with his little singy vibe,
right.
I'd be more apt to want to listen to that. Or if like you said, that your girlfriend leaves you and you want to listen to some of that bumpy bumps. What's his name? I keep Too
Too
Short.
short.
You would have that, and you would be able to say, okay. But I think again, when you have the higher ups and they're building these machines to be able to try to make this certain amount of money at this certain amount of time, you're never going to get that created, and you're not going to get that creativity. And those people, where it used to be the artist would go up to be the business person, we're
Hmm.
not seeing a lot of artists transition into business, because when you had the Herb Alperts and even if you want to talk about his snaky tail Clive Davis and
Yeah,
all those what's his name, Gordy, Barry
Barry
Gordy,
Gordy.
all of them, they were artists, or they contributed into the genre where they could be able to see something. Nowadays we just have businessmen up
Hmm.
there,
Yeah,
and whatever you can feel about Puffy, he understood how to promote parties, so he understood what music would get the
yeah.
party going. So you had those types of people that
But
were
that's the
able to.
it go back to what you said. I think hip hop is missing the culture.
Hmm.
Now, I think music in general is missing culture. Because we only have businessmen at the top. Businessmen, and that's only because you get Viacom buying up, you know, these
BET.
right BET, or you get Warner Brothers buying up. Like you get these big, huge companies coming in and then telling you, you bought me. The reason why you bought me is because I'm successful, right?
Right.
So let me keep being successful. Let me keep running my business how I run it. You shouldn't come in and now tell me, oh, well, now you got to hit these numbers. No, I don't. You bought me for a reason. Let me keep doing what I'm doing. So I think the culture is missing because those artistic people who loved and respected said genre, whether it's hip hop, whether it's R&B, whatever, who inspired to be rappers themselves, those who can't coach. That's
Right.
normally what it is. Barry Gordy probably wanted to be a singer. You
Hmm.
know, I can't sing. Let me coach. Let me go get Mike. Let me go get Stevie. Let
Smokey.
me
Hmm.
Smokey Rob. Let me go get all of them and make Motown. And that's what it
Right.
is. Puffy probably wanted to be a rapper or a producer. Okay? I can't necessarily do that. Let me go get all of these people to help me on this journey. And it works. And I
Right.
think when you let the culture breathe and speak for itself, it'll work. You want to make money? It's gonna make money.
Right.
It's gonna make money because now you can put a real price on it.
Yeah, and the more you gatekeep it, the more money you'll be able to make, because again, you, you have a standard now. And
Yep.
like I said, you said go regional. Now you've got a standard. So now it's not going to be where, oh, we're going to take a little bit, we're going to take a scoop full of Atlanta and two scoops of the West Coast and half a teaspoon of the East Coast of New York, mix it together and then try to have this particular sound, aka Drake.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have that anymore. You're gonna be able to get people to be authentically who they are. You know. So because we should have a stuttering rapper, that's out here
No,
stuttering their behind off and making good music, beatboxing or whatever.
a lot. It is a lot of rappers who stutter, and they said that them rapping stopped them from stuttering, and that could be why you don't have a stuttering rapper because doing that allows you to get over that speech impediment. So, but I'm
Right.
with you. Like I just miss regional music because it took me on a trip. It was like reading a book. You know, now
Yeah, it's
every
like
song
reading
I'm
a
in
novel.
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta in every song.
Yeah. Or you sitting in the bed with the covers over your head because you're trying to dodge bullets because King
Yeah,
Von and them shooting you.
yeah, yeah. I gotta wear my vest. Gotta put my
You
vest
gotta,
on just
yeah,
to
you
listen to
gotta,
this.
you in here paranoid, drinking lean and all kinds of stuff, cause you scared something's coming over your head or anything like that.
Hmm.
Where Will Smith will give you in a party mood.
Yeah,
Welcome to Miami. You could be able to, you should be able to go through several different places with the particular genre of music.
you
That's the
should.
same way soul music was. You listen to Millie Jackson over here, but then you listen to
Yep.
Maze, Frankie Beverly with Maze on the
Made.
other side.
Isley Brothers over here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So there was always something that you needed
Yeah,
to
you're
listen to.
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
All right. I didn't realize we had been on here this long. Y'all give Blue a big hand. Tell them where they can reach you at, Blue.
You can reach me on YouTube at Blues House. That's it, just at Blues House. I'm also on Twitter, Threads. It's just Blues House. That's all you type in Blues House. You good to go.
All right. Well, you all
No
know
E.
where to
BLUSHOUSE.
All right. Well, you all know where to find me. I'm right here at Pam Entertainment TV. Y'all make sure y'all tell a friend. Y'all tell a kin. Y'all tell a coworker. Y'all tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. Y'all have a happy. We'll see you on the other side of the new year. I don't know if Kat is going back on Club Sey to do any more annual predictions or not. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you all of this celebrity news that we've got going on. We're going to be covering it. We're going to be covering Marvel. Looks like I'm going to be covering DC because it look like that's where it's at for the next 90 days to 6 months because they're rolling out their stuff. And we've got Jonathan Majors got some stuff coming out. What's his name? Oh, Michael B. Jordan has some stuff because I hear that his movie Sinners was pushed back a month.
No, was it? I
Yeah,
still don't know what it's about. The trailer still don't give you.
it hadn't dropped yet. It hadn't dropped yet. So maybe that's why I think that they're doing some reshoots, honestly, but it hadn't dropped yet. But there's a lot of stuff coming in the pipelines with all your favorite actors and stuff like that. But we will be covering it. And if they mess up in Bad Boy, and stay on the line, Blue, because I have a question to ask you. All
Okay.
right, people. And as always, bye bye.
Peace.